I'm now going to show you how to complete the M1 Synthesis of Evidence that is in the Module 1 Embedded Assessment. This is the very first assignment that you will be completing that will be towards your final essay, which is the Embedded Assessment. So if you go to the Google Classroom, you'll want to go to Classwork. Under the topic Module 1 Embedded Assessment, you will see the assignment M1 Synthesis of Evidence. This must be completed by the next class so that you can use this information to do your pre-write. So what we're going to do is fill in the organizer with the following information. And we don't need these things. Okay. So for each lesson, you need to identify which lessons are related to the text, what is the main idea of the text, and then 2 pieces of evidence that you can use to support your main idea. I have these answers right now filled in, but I want to show you how I got there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is try to identify what lessons are related to each of these texts. I can do that first if I'd like, identifying all of the related lessons by going to the Google Classroom, clicking on the first week. So the first week, I'm looking through and I'm realizing, this was still the Module 0. Doesn't look like there's anything for Module 1. I'm looking through Lesson 4, No Catcher. What was the name of this? It says no adolescent is normal. So looks like Lesson 4 for sure is related. Here was that exit ticket, but I don't care about the exit ticket. I'm looking for the lessons. Oh, here we go. Identify the main idea of the shifting boundaries of adolescence. So I know Lesson 3 and Lesson 4 are related. Okay, so then I'd go here, related lessons, I'd type Lesson 4 and Lesson 5. Now you can just continue working on identifying the lessons and get it over that way, or you could stick and do one text at a time. So let's say you're doing one text at a time. I would then move on to my main idea. What was the main idea of the shifting boundaries of adolescence by Heidi Ledford? This main idea you should remember, but in case you don't remember, I would go back into that Lesson 4, right? I'd probably click on the Lesson 4 No Catcher. And then I would look through my notes and I would look to see, okay, what did we come up with as the main idea for this text? Now, if you're a good student, you should have already filled this out. This is why when I said you should do your classwork, this is why, because then you'll need it later on. So you see right here, you should have identified this main idea of the article. And if this is blank, very, very sad for you, because what you're going to have to do is go and reread the article or skim through the article to get that main idea. But let's say you were following along with us and you wrote down that the main idea was adolescence is a social construct that cannot be concretely measured or defined. You would then try to find 2 pieces of evidence to support that main idea. So I would click on this link to open up the PDF. And to be honest, I would just go with the first 2 that I saw, right? So scrolling down, I see right here that the data is still out, scientists without a good definition. It's difficult to nail down what predictions and responsibilities adolescents should have. So I could highlight that, Control C or right click copy, go back into my synthesis of evidence, and just for the sake of example, I'm going to put it here. And then I can paste. And I might have to do some formatting, right? Because when you're copying and pasting from a PDF, it doesn't always cooperate. But it should still work out just fine, okay? So that's pretty easy. Don't forget your quotation marks. All right, and then I would look for another one. I have some examples already provided for you, and that is that. So you're doing that process of identifying the related lessons, the main idea, and 2 pieces of evidence that support that main idea for each of these texts, okay? It is imperative, it is important that you do this so that when you go to your pre-write, your rough draft, revisions, edits, and final draft, you have the strongest essay you can possibly have. Because here's the thing, y'all, you cannot redo your summative assessment. Once you submit that essay, that is the essay. It is done. You cannot go back and make changes and do over and make it better like you have been able to with the formative assessments. This is it. So please take this seriously, and if you have questions, you know where to reach me. Remind, Google Classroom, or Gmail.